We live and work in an era where conventional outside the box thinking has become the norm, a cliche of sorts, a phrase that might mean something to one person but have no impact on the next. My guest today has a philosophy he wants to challenge you with, one that taps into the unique talents of your entire team. Really, it's a way to empower both yourself and everyone around you. So I'd like to welcome Raj Manickam, the CEO and co-owner of Steam Master Cleaning and Restoration in Colorado. Raj, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jeff. That was
It's great to have you. I know we've done an interview or two in the past, most recently at the experience when you won the Ralph Bloss Humanitarian Award. I'm sure you're still getting fan mail about that.
you know what? It's it's kind of like behind me now. I'm like, all right, let's get to work.
Well, let's do that. Let's get to work. I know we're talking today about a challenge that you'd like to present to us. Talk about this this box issue that you and I discussed at the experience. Tell us why that's important to you.
Well, this is a phrase that I coin, a cliche word that I kind of believed in for many years. It's called kick the box. And yes, I am passionate about it, but at the same time, this is not like it started with me. This has been around there in the industry with pioneers like, the people like Larry from Thermistor, people like Marty King, Pete, Consigli, John and Nick, Paola, people like Business Networks and Mark Springer, Anthony Nelson, Next Gear people, Core Logic, and then the up to now where you get Healy, Healy from Know How. So it existed before and it's evolving up until today. But I think from the macro level of what has happened in the past versus now, I think it's time that we take it to the micro level, to the business level where it's done within instead of just the big thinkers putting this out. So, but that is the phrase is called kick the box, and I can expand a little bit about it, what it means for the layman, if you want.
Okay, let's do that. But first, I want to mention you mentioned a lot of names. So if someone's name didn't get mentioned and they're wondering
Oh
what
yeah.
happened,
No,
sorry, sorry.
sorry. There's, I'm just rattling people that is, coming to your head, and there's
Yes,
a lot more in the industry. Come on, it's even, publication like yours and you and what people are doing for the industry. You cannot put a stop to the kind of names that's out there.
right.
There's a lot more. So yes, good caveat there. Get me out of
Yes.
trouble.
We don't want to get you in trouble, Raj. I would like to have you back on my program again. But Raj, so yeah, explain what this really means to you. But to set it up, we use that cliche, think outside the box because we don't want to be boxed in. We want to think broader, picture, bigger picture. Kick the box. I never heard that until you mentioned it at the experience. Talk about that, what it means to you, and how do people look at you when you say that?
Okay, so the most simplest way to kind of look at kick the box is this. Look, if the frog in the well, let's put it that way. The frog in the well sees the sun when it passes above its head, and then light changes and you don't see it anymore, and it's the dark. But when the light is above you, you get to thrive and you get to do things. And the frog is excited, But, in the 20th century, all of a sudden things have started to change where somebody coined the word think outside the box. I don't know who that was, but wow, what a wonder. So everybody, all the frogs came out of the well, and guess what we do? We're no longer in the box. For goodness sake, we are outside the box. What a wonder. But guess what? All of us think alike because the mass is outside the box. So when you are all outside the box, you think alike, you do alike, you don't innovate in ways like that some of the names of the people that I mentioned do things. So the marketing, the relationship building, the production way of doing things, everything is almost copycat, similar things that what the other guy's doing, we do. So how do you come out of that mindset from just being outside the vicinity of the box? How do you do that? Well, you don't need a stinking box, is the answer. So you can really, operate outside further as far as you can outside the box. And this is when you go somewhere or you go in you to kind of come up with things that are completely different. So I think that's the first part of trying to define inside and outside and way away from the box. So that's that. In my own example, like everyone has, they all have their own way of doing things. And my own example is it's where I am today in the locality of where I serve. I'm in the resort community, Vale, Breckenridge, and Aspen. So you kind of adapt to where you are and how you do things in your business within the area that you serve. So you got to be smart about that. So I don't get people asking me about think outside the box because I just go do those things that come to me and how to operate. And people look at us different and say, why are you doing a leadership seminar? They wonder, you know, why is a restoration cleaning company doing a leadership seminar? Why is a restoration and cleaning company doing a collection seminar for all the blue collar businesses in town, bringing in an attorney and engaging him to teach others? So it's completely left field where you're not just sitting down there and doing the restorer job all day, every day, you're bringing different sets of values that will enhance the community, the people around you, and people you serve, directly. So you bring different values. So it's not as much as people ask you, they wonder, why are they doing this? But then they appreciate it. They are the ones who know, like, well, these guys are different. They're not just coming here to clean my carpets and restore my home. These are different people. So I think, I don't know whether I'm answering that question, but I think it's a perception people wonder and let them wonder. But they appreciate it.
Yeah.
They'll never forget you.
So Raj, let's break this down. I like that. When you take care of your clients with your company, successful company, kicking the box down the road, what's different about what you do? Nuts and bolts. Like those watching this today, they say, I want to do this. What's different? You mentioned seminars where you might teach people. Okay, that's great. That's different. What else? Day-to-day operations have you done with your company that just proves you're kicking the box?
Well, one that I just would, if I were to put out this plenty, like even for that, even for the gallery as an example, I think we've talked about. We have a gallery, an art gallery in the building. Why would a cleaning and restoration company have a gallery? So now it's open 5 days a week. We have second homeowners, and this is a resort market. So you have second homeowners that do not live here. They have homes here. They come here during vacation. And so people are starting to come in and visit us because of the gallery. And then they discover we are a cleaning and restoration company. We bring different values for them, and they all have really nice homes that they want us to attend to some point. Who would they use? They would not forget the experience. These seminars, we bring in people from, I would say, vendors that construction companies that we don't, we're mitigation only. So you kind of use that advantage to connect with all the custom builders in town that would hire and refer you because they're not competing with you. So these are the people that we call in to a room to bring in leadership seminars, and the owners of these companies are very much appreciative of what we do. The collection seminar on how to work with collections and, getting money back from homeowners. And we bring an attorney and connect them. The next thing you know, we're bringing different values to these people. Who would they use? They would rather use us. I can go on and bring so many different small things, but you have to look at it not just the business owner doing this. I think it has to encompass your staff if you can do that. And that takes a little bit deeper understanding between you and trying to impart those knowledge to your people, what they can bring to the table beyond the work ethic that you expect. What else do they have? Do we really know our people from inside? The talents that they bring that can be the same value an owner brings out. Because this is not an owner's job. This is not the president's job. This is, if you can bring this culture throughout the company, it will bring a lot more value to your company. And that's what I believe.
So all good. I like that. So you're talking about not just running a business, doing your typical activities. You're talking about bigger picture. Be a good citizen. Look at others you can work with and help and partner with beyond the traditional.
Well, there's some part about what I've learned. Like 24 years ago, I came to this town. There was it's called Vail Leadership Institute. There, we learn to connect with ourselves first in a small group setting, somewhat like business networks where they have peer groups. But here, you can have peer groups within your community or the areas that you serve in. And there, you have this cluster of people that would be your board of directors almost. You bring value to them, they bring value to you, and you're not really out there all the time looking for people who will refer you. That's who you want to connect with. This is beyond that. You have to be sincere about it, and it'll show the moment you start flaking and you're doing it because of that, it will show. I mean, how would you like if the fire department sends their people to my shop to give me a swag? That's the paradigm shift I'm
Sure.
talking. And it has happened more than once. Like they come here and say, Raj, we got a t-shirt for you.
What
That's a,
size?
huh? Because why? You're connected with them in a different way. And the irony of this is, I think somewhere around 2014, I gave a talk at the experience and was given $1,500 in cash. Kick the box. It was that topic actually. What an irony,
I was
it's funny.
there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. And
Yep.
they counted the cash when they gave it. I'm like, that was fun,
It is.
But
It is. It's better than the other way around. You having to pay to give your talk.
it's always good to get paid when you're doing something that you like. Same thing with my artwork. It's not just I do it, I I also sell it. And then another way to look at, say, talent. This is where employers can use this. Do we really know our people? There's so much of talent beyond being the guy who goes out and suck the water, the one who goes out and clean the carpets, the one who does the stone, or the fire damage restoration technician. Who are they? Do we really know them? What kind of talent they have? It doesn't have to be creative. It's what they are that we don't know who they truly are, you know. And if we can find out who we hire and get to know them on a little bit more than just the hiring matrix level, you know, when you know somebody, then, you know, you can say, you can support that person for their cause, their passion. If you support them and you kind of even fund some of that, the activities, then, you know, their surrounding is enriched. And all of that comes back to the person, to the brand, to the company. It's a win-win all throughout, you know. I think you really have to kick the box to understand this.
Point is, people need to think about what they're doing. Get out. Don't think about that box as a confinement or what you can escape from, but do something different that means something to those around you. Raj, some people may be wondering, who's this Raj Manickam? I'll put the link to our first interview from a few weeks ago at the experience down below so they can hear your story as well. Because in that interview, we talked about your past and how you got to where you're at today. And then they can learn more about why you believe in kick the box.
Well, I would say, you know, get to know your own people and do something different
Mhm.
and listen to some of the, you know, like know-how. Boy, they got so much going on there. I really appreciate them. If we listen to some of their stuff, I think there's so much more that you'll get out of it, you know. So thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And I was afraid you're going to name more names there, but you didn't, so that's good.
Okay.
All right, Raj,
I
appreciate
don't
you.
get paid for anything, so good. Thanks, Jeff. Thank
Unpaid
you.
endorsements by Raj. All right, talk
Paid
to you
in.
later.
Thank you.
Bye bye.